welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a review on the new Milani Conceal and Perfect. This is a 2-in-1 foundation plus concealer all in one. I don't know if it's new just to Ulta. I want to say that this also is in like Walmart and CVS and everything. I think it's only new to Ulta, but it struck, I saw it on the new arrivals or whatever and decided that I wanted to check it out. I believe my sister uses this same foundation and she loves it, but I have a completely different skin type than my sister. My sister is very oily, she's acne prone. I am very dry. I don't get a lot of blemishes, I just have a lot of redness that I like to cover up. But because I am so dry, I'm always looking for a foundation that covers up my redness but doesn't accentuate my dryness. My favorite foundations are those that look natural. I don't like something too dewy because then you look kind of like greasy and sweaty. But then I also don't like something that's super matte. Because of my dry skin, it usually accentuates. You know what I'm saying. Anyways, so I wanted to go ahead and give this one a try. It does retail at Ulta for $9.99. There are 23 different color options, so not the greatest, not the most color options, but definitely not the least color options either. I think, especially with the price point, not that you want to buy two foundations to mix to get your perfect color, but even sometimes with high-end, foundations that have like 43 different colors, sometimes it's really hard to find that one that's exactly like yours. So because it is only $9.99, you can hypothetically buy both, buy two and mix it and get your perfect combination. So it's just completely up to you. Price point is good. It's good because it's drugstore, that sort of thing. So the other thing that I wanted to tell you guys was, on the website, it is like on Ulta's website, the one thing that I absolutely hate is the fact that the colors never show the descriptions. I am in light 00B. I don't light, I mean, obviously I'm very, very white. I'm very pale, but I wish they would give like, hey, fair with pink undertones or fair with neutral undertones, that sort of thing. But this actually, I think, works very well for me, so I'm happy with that. The color that I got, I just wish that, I don't know if it's Ulta or if it's Milani or if it's the brands that are saying that don't give the description or whatever. I've seen them on some and not on others, so I'm assuming it's just the brand not giving that information to Ulta to put on the website. Not sure. That's my only downside as far as ordering this online or even in the store, because you can't try it on in the store. But anyways, enough of my babbling. I'm going to go ahead and get in the review, so go ahead and keep watching. You're going to see me apply it, and then at the end, give my final thoughts. Okay, so here is the foundation right here. This is the Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1. I got it in color 00B light. There are 23 different color options and it does retail at Ulta for $9.99. So has a little pumping mechanism. What I do like about it is you can get a little bit or you can get a lot depending on what you like. So that is a big deal for me because sometimes you don't want the whole pump. And then sometimes I like to go in and just take a little bit and dab it in the areas that I need a little bit more coverage. So I do like the fact that the pumping mechanism, you can kind of work it to get out the amount of product that you want. So I'm just gonna go in. I've already, put on my moisturizer, that sort of thing, using the same thing that I do every single day with every single one of my foundations. And I'm just using the Jaclyn Hill foundation brush. This is the one that she did with Morphe. So this is the one that I generally use. And I just go in and I buff it out. And then what I'll do is I go in with the Real Techniques blender sponge, not the Beauty Blender one, but the Real Technique one, and I'll just kind of mesh it into my skin. And that's something that I do with every single foundation, because for me, it just seems like it pushes it into my skin. So no matter what foundation or BB cream that I use, this is the method that I always use because it seems like no matter what, it works. So you can see there, that is one layer. It does look, I'm super white. So I'm like, oh my gosh, it's super white. Yeah, because I'm super white. We haven't seen the sun here in Texas for like 2 weeks, and there was a couple days where it was really, really nice and I had stuff to do and they were all inside and I was like, why? So I have literally not seen the sun. I think I'm deficient on vitamin D. I really need to go out and just soak it up. But today is a yucky day, a cold front's coming through, and then this weekend's supposed to rain, and it's just lovely. Winter is lovely. So I'm gonna go in and just touch a little bit more. Since I've been using this foundation, I really haven't used a lot of concealer in my T-zone or on my cheeks or anything like that, because this is where I usually get the most red. This is where I want to cover up the most. And so normally with other foundations, I will go in and I will go in with my concealer on this area. But with this foundation, because it does do such a good job of covering, I actually like to just use the foundation and go in there and hit the areas that I need a little bit more coverage. Now I do obviously still conceal my dark eye circles. I mean, it does, as you can see, it does a pretty good job of canceling them out, but it's not to the level that I need. So next, like I said, I'm just gonna take the Beauty Blender. And one thing that I've been doing, I didn't do this the first couple times, but I saw this in a Jaclyn Hill video. She takes the Lila B A Glow Face Mist. And so I've just been spraying and just going in and doing that. I've done it without this and it does just fine. I just like it because I am very dry. So I am always looking for something that is going to give me a little bit more hydration. Okay, so that is it. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my face, and then I'll be back and let you guys know what my final thoughts are for this foundation. Would I recommend it? Who would I recommend it for? That sort of thing, so stay tuned. So this is the finished look. This is everything, obviously all done up. But overall, I've actually really been liking this foundation. To me, it does a great job of, the biggest thing for me is the fact that it covers so much. The biggest thing that I have to cover is my redness. I don't really have any blemishes. I don't really have any discoloration or anything like that, or any pigment anywhere. It's just, I get super red in the T-zone. But what I also have to be careful with is I also am very dry in my T-zone. So a lot of foundations and heavy concealers don't work for me because I have little bits of skin, all right in here. So when I put on too much product, it will actually cover the redness, but it will accentuate my dry skin there. So it really is trying to find that balance. And this foundation does it for me. As you can see, I didn't use any concealer in my T-zone except under my eyes, obviously, but I felt like it really did a good job of covering up the redness that the areas that I wanted to cover up, but it also doesn't look cakey and it doesn't accentuate my dry skin. So if you are somebody who has dry skin, this foundation will definitely work for you, especially if you're looking for a full coverage foundation or you have things that you want to cover up. Now I can tell you my sister uses one, I think it's the same one that she uses. I know it's the Milani, it's Conceal and Perfect. I don't know what they've changed. I think it's just new at Ulta, but she does use this one as well. And her skin is oily. She has a lot of redness, but it's a lot of blemishes that are caused by the redness. Like when they start going away, you can see the redness. And this does a really, really good job of covering up her redness and her blemishes as well, but also is good for oily skin. But can't speak to that. The oily skin part, I can only speak to the dry part, and I can say that the past 10 or so days that I've been wearing this, I've been really, really liking it, and liking the fact that it gives me this flawless coverage. It's full foundation, but it doesn't look like, even on the camera, I think it looks very natural. When I look in the mirror, it still looks very natural. It's not super matte. Like obviously I have my highlighter here, but it's not a super flat matte. It says medium to full coverage, lightweight oil-free formula, long wearing, water resistant, and sweat proof. It doesn't say what kind of finish. I would say it's more of a natural like satin finish. I wouldn't necessarily call it a matte, but it's definitely not dewy either. It's kind of like that perfect in between. So I like the fact that when I look in the mirror, I look very natural. It looks very pretty. It looks like my skin. It looks like my skin just perfect, just, perfect skin. But then when I look in the camera, I feel like it does very well. It picks up the camera, and there's no, it looks very natural on the camera. I think it's a very, very good foundation. So overall, I am in love with this foundation. It's a perfect price point for $9.99. And I'm kind of surprised because on the Ulta website, I think it got like 3.5 out of 5 stars. And there was like 400 people that went in and commented about it and graded it, if you will. And I was kind of surprised because at first that didn't deter me. I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna try it. Let's see what happens. But then after I started using it, I was like, I really, really like this foundation. And then when I went in and saw the stars, I was like, oh, that's kind of surprising because it just goes to show it works for some people. It doesn't work for other people. But if you have dry skin and you're looking for a medium to full coverage foundation, definitely check this one out. Nothing but good things to say about it. And it actually has replaced the last video that I did, the foundation. I did the Pacifica All Bright or something like that foundation, and I loved that one. And that was my go-to. And then I started using this one, and I actually like this one better. To me, this one just is all well-rounded. Please leave your comments below. Let other viewers know if you have tried this foundation, if it worked for you, if it didn't work for you, that sort of thing. But until next time, bye.